Hello, 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 and good afternoon. Welcome to Forex 101 here in the Honeypot with me, OC Ejiofor. I am looking forward to today's show. We have none other than special guest, Mr. Bas Kooijman, who is going to be joining us in a few moments. I'm excited. I'm excited. I hope you are too. We've got a great show coming for you. We're going to have plenty of all of these things regarding trading and regarding fundamental analysis. We're going to cover a few different things today. We've looked at a few other things. As per usual, I'm going to go through the schedule and we are going to be able to have you ask questions related to Forex and getting involved in trading. So let's fade this down here, and I have to play this.
You win. Perfect.
Because that's the sound that we like to hear when it comes to our trading sessions. But how are you? Where are you watching from? Please let us know in the comment section. We will give you a shout out and we'll welcome you to the show. And don't forget to share this stream with your friends so that everybody else can join in. But I do not want to waste time today. I want to get into the session. I'll just quickly go through the slides so you can see what's coming up. In fact, we might have to flip this around because I had to sort out the timings before I had agreed with our special guest what time is able to join us. But we are going to be, this is session 7 for those of you who didn't know. We're going to have a recap of what happened last week. We're going to have fundamental analysis. We're going to be having a look at the news and how that affects trading, etc. And then we're going to have a special guest interview. Now, we're also going to have our Q&A. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this round. So we're not going to have the first 2 sections first. We're going to have those afterwards, and we're going to bring on our special guest straight away because I don't want to waste anybody's time. We're going to get into the Q&A, but if you are not familiar with our special guest today, I want you to watch this clip of him in action.
It's currently not above the cloud, so we can make a pending order here. See how this price is nicely accepting the R8, and every time when pivots shift we can go to R8 again, and then here you see this nice top level, and then it started to drop a bit. So here, after it comes out of the cloud, green, 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 out of the cloud, boom, buy to R8, 43 pips. Amazing. Green, 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 coming out of the cloud. Got a buy signal early this morning, went up 20 already, came back a little bit into the cloud.
And I think you guys can hear me now, but I can't hear you yet.
Hello, Bas. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you?
I think, can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, great. So basically the headphones didn't work, but the speakerphone is working, so that's all good.
No problem. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you, sir?
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much for having me on the call, and yeah, happy to join.
Excellent, excellent. We're definitely happy to have you. So you're in Lithuania right now, right? Yes.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, fantastic. So there's a little bit of a time difference over there. How's your morning been so far? Or
all
day
good.
been
All
so
good.
far?
Yeah, it's 2 hours different, so it's 5 p.m. here right now. And trading morning was absolutely amazing, and actually the whole week has been going very, very well. So that's very, very good. Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. That's great. So I want to just ask you a few questions just so people can get to know you a bit more. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. You told us that you're based in Lithuania. I understand are you Dutch? Is
Yes,
that right?
I am.
Okay,
I am.
right, yeah.
So basically, I'm from the Netherlands. I've been doing business here for quite some time. So I was running around in Lithuania for about 7 years, I think, 6, 7 years. I had a telecom company in the Netherlands, but programmers in Lithuania. So that is actually why I ended up here after selling my telecom company in 2015. They asked me to stay half a year in Netherlands to hand over, and half a year in Lithuania to hand over the programming team to the new owners. So yeah, that was actually me staying here after that, saying like, well, what will be my new project? And that new project became a full-time trader.
Wow. Okay, fantastic. So, I take it you speak Dutch, you speak Lithuanian, right?
Yeah,
Kind of.
a very little bit.
Okay.
The reason for that is that it's a very, very difficult language to learn,
Right.
and I love to try, and I can do some basic like restaurant level Lithuanian, but full conversations is absolutely difficult. Yeah.
Okay, okay, sure. Well, survival language is better than me anyway. I speak English, Cockney, a bit of American, a bit of Australian, but I don't speak any other language apart from English.
Yeah, so nice thing in the Netherlands when kids are going to high school, they start directly very early, of course, with English, but also German and French. And then after
Right.
2 years, you can drop one of the two. So I dropped French because it was not really my language, but I got like also 6 years of German. So
Wow.
really happy to also help the German teams lately more and more
Okay.
with the trading.
Fantastic. That's excellent. So, tell us a little bit about how you got into trading. How was it that you stumble at you mentioned that you had a telecommunications company.
Yes.
Did you know about trading before then, or how did you get into it?
It kind of came during the success of that company. The company went international, and we had customers in 35 different countries. And they asked to pay in a certain currency. So the Asian customers asked to pay in Hong Kong dollars or Japanese yen. We had people in Turkey wanting to pay with Turkish lira, and of course Americans and Europeans and people from UK. So before we knew it, we actually had 7 different currencies. And those 7 different currencies, yeah, ended up in thinking about trading. Like, when should we switch? When do we need to change those Japanese yens to euros? Are there maybe suppliers that want to have their invoices paid in a certain currency? And we started to make a technical system out of that. So basically, our IT system was handling all this kind of trading in a very simple way, just understanding which kind of invoices are coming that need to be paid in that particular currency, and the profits, the money we don't directly need, can be transferred to euros. But by doing this, my company was doing about 13% gross returns instead of the 9 to 11 of my competitors. So we were basically doing about 2 points better purely by having the forex right. So when I sold this company together with the system, because they were obviously very interested to buy my company basically for the IT part. Yeah, then I just said to myself, like, hey, if companies are doing this, and if we were smart enough to make the simple version for companies, why not make kind of a version for myself? Why don't I just stay trading? And that's what I did.
Wow, wow, that's quite amazing actually. So, it was by necessity, I guess, just finding out with the different currencies when is the best time to actually change them into what currency, and that just helps you to understand just the whole world of currency exchange.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was kind of, yeah, went first into the financial world coming out of telecom. Of course, I'm a technical trader. So as we know, there's two different traders. You have fundamental traders that are more into the politics, into the news, and you have technical traders that are using different technical indicators, and I'm one of the more technical traders. While I still have the fundamental knowledge, it's not that I'm completely ignoring what's going on in the world or completely ignoring different world aspects like Brexit or Greece going bankrupt or issues in Cyprus or now the coronavirus. So it's not that you are ignoring those news events, but still, a technical trader takes less care about that part. They are more just trading based on what their indicators are telling them to trade.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I understand that. And those people who've been watching my episodes in the previous weeks, they understand hopefully the difference between technical analysis, and today
Right.
we are going to be talking about fundamental analysis as well. So it's great that you mentioned that. So I would like to ask you mentioned your trading style. How did you discover your preferred trading style. We have a lot of people watching who are grassroots beginners, who may be very new to the whole idea of trading. And I have mentioned in previous lessons about the fact that there are different trading styles. And when we spoke a couple of weeks ago to Ballet Granville, he mentioned his trading style as well. So tell us a little bit about your trading style and how you came to understand, yep, this is how I like to trade.
Yeah, so I think it mostly came together when I was looking for more technical solutions. So 2 years ago, I was actually looking into what kind of extra tools are there available, and I came to find the harmonic scanner of the IM Academy. And I was like, okay, there are more tools available to expand my trading style. So I was till that time always trading with Ichimoku. I'm trading for about 6 years with the Ichimoku indicator. And Ichimoku is a full trading style. So it has different lines, it has a cloud, and it gives you entry levels, it gives you trend levels, and it gives you the cloud itself, which is the market is really, really reacting to the Ichimoku cloud. So I started to develop more around the Ichimoku cloud. I also know the theory behind the whole Ichimoku cloud levels. And it's a Japanese theory, so it's pretty heavy. It was created during the time that Japan had 6 trading days instead of 5, like what we have with Forex now is 5. But it was during the time that there's actually how you say that there were different trading hours during the day and 6 days. So you see that you don't want to mess with the settings of the original creator, but you might want to modify still certain levels. So I started to look into programming to kind of modify those differences. And with some programming experience, I was able at the end to make my own version, which is now included into the Infinity tool. And I added all kinds of extra trend lines and multiple time frame trend lines, so you don't have to switch. And I kind of created my own strategy that I've been working on for the last 2 years, and it's kind of getting live right now. So we are in very exciting times.
Fantastic. That is amazing. So, for anybody who's watching who maybe heard certain terms that they're not familiar with, we know that this is the basics class. So, what I will do, what Bas just mentioned is something called the Ichimoku. You might see it called the Ichimoku Kenko Hayo cloud. And what it is a technical indicator. Like Bas says, it's got so much detail on there. It is definitely not something that a beginner would get into straight away without guidance from someone like Bas, who can actually teach them how to use it. But if you'd like to know more information about that, contact me privately and I can help you out with information. Or you can follow Bas. You can see at the bottom of the screen there, you can follow him on Facebook or on Instagram. And he also has a Facebook group that you'll be able to access if you actually join the Academy as well. So thanks so much for sharing that. It really does intrigue me. You actually looked into the whole history of the cloud and the 6-day trading week. That's so interesting because not many people do their due diligence. I think people do like to tend to kind of go a bit gung-ho. And I did mention this last week when it comes to learning how to trade. Most people kind of want the quick fix. They want to just do things very quickly, quick results, but they're not really sure about everything that happens behind the scenes. So it intrigues me that you actually did your research first.
Yeah, so what I really see is that people are taking things out of the box. So they take RSI out of the box with default settings. They take stochastic out of the box with default settings, and they maybe take Bollinger Bands and they say, "Oh, look, I'm a technical trader right now." And those settings really mean something. And I don't say the out of the box settings are wrong. But it will depend on, are you trading short term? Are you trading long term? Are you trading intraday? Do you want to position trade for a couple of months? On which time frame are you looking? And all those things need to stay in contrast with each other. So most of the indicators are based on a certain amount of averages. That's where those numbers are coming from. So Bollinger Bands 20 is looking 20 candles back, and they are looking to a moving average 20 in the middle. If you change that to 50, you will get a moving average of 50 in the middle, and they look 50 candles back to do certain calculations. So what I always say is you don't have to understand all the calculations, how the indicator came together, because the book of Bollinger Bands is like this thick. But I would say that if you start to like a certain indicator, it's worth it to invest a certain amount of time of maybe reading 2 or 3 books and saying like, okay, these are the indicators that I really like. For a little bit more advanced people, I would say make sure that you have 3 different indicators, where one of them is leading. So it's a leading indicator looking into the future and giving you some kind of hint of what potentially is going to come. A indicator that looks to the past is an indicator that you need to analyze some history, and you need an indicator that is looking into the volume, because you can have a great trade, it's going to go up, but you want to know when it's going up. When is that buying volume coming in? So the biggest mistake I see is people are using 2 leading indicators like RSI and stochastic. They are giving you the same information. They are looking into the future, what might happen after a cross or after a certain level. But you do need a volume indicator. You do need an indicator that also looks to the past to create some averages and to know where the market has been. So it's like leading, lagging, and volume. So you need 3 different indicators, because if you have 3 indicators that do the same, you feel you have 3 confirmations, but actually you don't.
That's an excellent tip. And again, that'll probably be for more of some of the advanced people. I think it's very good for beginners to know and understand that actually, yes, out of the box, it will give you a certain amount of information, but actually it's good for you to know what information you're being given. So I think they're very, very useful tips there. Thanks so much for sharing.
Yeah, and the point is with out of the box is that if it was so easy, unfortunately, if it was so easy, then everybody would have done it. And if you keep that in mind with your trading, you are 1 step ahead, because the chance that you are the chance that you are doing something that everybody tried and failed, because 95% of people are failing within 3 months. So you probably need to do something more. You probably need some more sweat equity. You probably need some more testing. Like I always say, a strategy is no strategy till you have 200 trades and get some sort of statistics, and tell no one till you have done 1,000 trades with a certain strategy on a certain trading account. Get some statistics from free websites like MyFXbook or any other analytics website, where you can literally see your winning percentage, your spread, your drawdown, like your Sharpe ratio. And when you understand those numbers and see how a certain strategy is working, then you can tell other people. You can say, hey, I found something, it's maybe good. And then you still don't know.
I love that. You do 200 trades and then you check the statistics, then you do another 1,000 and then you check that, and then you tell somebody that maybe you have something. I think that's really a key point coming from you, because you're an educator and you've been a consistent trader for a very long time. And the reality is, we know that nobody can really just predict the future, but what you can do is narrow down the possible outcomes, right? So that you can increase your confidence in a position that you take. And this is the type of thing I try to help people understand. And when it comes to trading, yes, the majority of people do fail, and it's because they don't have the right education at a basic level. Number 2, they don't have patience with the strategies that they're applying. And number 3, there are no analytics behind what they're doing. It's just jump from one thing to another, find something online and try something else. And I think that what you're sharing is really, really valuable. Really valuable. So thank you very much for that.
What we mostly see is people, they had the patience to wait for about 1% per year of interest on their bank account, if they even get 1% nowadays. And then you get those few dollars or those few pounds in your account, and you're like, what's that? Oh, it's the interest from this year. Now I'm so happy. But when we ask to wait for a trade for 2 or 3 days, because people are so concentrated on that trade. They are looking at the trade. Is it going well? Is it going right? That's the moment that people are so hooked on their money that it should do something. And they make maybe 2% in one trade, but they need to maybe wait 24 or 48 hours. And from psychology perspective, that's of course very interesting to see the human behavior. Before, they just put it on a bank account that did absolutely nothing and expected nothing. But now they start to work with it, and then they expect a lot. And that's a good thing because this is how we can help people to actually move forward. So that's honestly why I'm trading. That's honestly why I'm an educator, because I really want to help the people move forward and give them some tools, give them some ideas, and also give them some trades. Like we are trading every day, 6:30 a.m. UK time. I made that for people in the UK, Netherlands, and Belgium. That was my main group at that moment. And I said, I'm going to trade before you go to work so you can go out of work at some point. And that was my goal, just to give people some trades before joining. And then that's it. Then there's the moment that they say, I'm quitting that job. And I have many testimonials from people around me that have quit their job and that have moved forward as a full-time trader and even later as a part-time trader, doing just the fun stuff next to trading.
It's amazing, isn't it? It is life-changing when you develop the right mindset and have the right expectations. I think it's it's same with a lot of things in life. It's like marriage. You can have all kinds of expectations before you go into it, but then you're faced with the reality when you're in there. And for me, the reality is my wife is the boss. I just wanted to ask a couple more questions. See some people asking questions. If you are watching and you'd like to ask questions, please type them in the comments. I am going to come to your questions in a moment. I know, Bas, you have to shoot off at 1:30, so I'm aware of that. That's fine.
It's okay. I thought to check, but I don't see the chat, but you probably see the chat, so that's all good.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so I'd like to ask, what do you feel is the biggest lesson that you've learned in trading?
So the biggest lesson probably is patience, because at the end you will see that the strategy works, and when it doesn't work, you should not change anything. And I think that's maybe it's not only patience, but it's also perseverance. When you have a certain strategy, the most professional traders have a statistical losing streak of 12 to 13 trades once every 5 years. It's just a proven thing, proven number. So you are trading maybe even 5 years. You are winning, you're growing. Everything goes your way. And then one moment in 1 week, you probably just have like 10, 12, 13 trades that all hit your stop loss. It looks like there's no opportunity to make money. It looks like your whole strategy is failing and you are starting to doubt yourself, which probably, like after a couple of trades, you start to doubt. It probably results in a couple of more losing trades just from a bad mindset level. You try to take a break, you go back, you lose again, you take another break, you lose again, and you get this big losing streak. And it's just something statistical that can happen. The point is that what goes wrong is when you change your strategy, because your strategy worked for so long. Forex is here for so long, it will stay forever, and you don't have to change anything in that really, really, really bad week. If you survive that streak, it's very important to just keep going with your original strategy. And I had those moments, luckily not 12 in a row, but I had streaks of maybe 7 or 8 trades in a row going really, really wrong, that you're really saying, like, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with my strategy? What's wrong with the market? And that you kind of don't know what to do. So I have a rule for that right now for myself, is that if I have a losing day, I trade normally the next day as if I did not have a losing day. I just get myself together, trade another day. But if the second day is bad, I stop. If I feel it's not going right, I just stop and I take a direct break. So I'm saying I never have 3 days losses in a row. On that break day, I do absolutely nothing. I don't even open the charts, nothing. If that's a Thursday or Friday, I probably take the whole weekend off. And then on Monday, on the next trading day, my only goal is to make one trade And even if it's 50 cents, I just need to make one winning trade. So I enter something that I really feel confident about, and I win something, even if it's just 50 cents, £1, doesn't matter, because that breaks your losing streak. And all your confidence and all everything, even if it's such a small number, your whole mindset will change back to the old you, and you are able to just keep going. And that's, I think, the best lesson that I can also share. And maybe a better option is that I spent the last 2 3 months writing a book about traders, investors, the different mindset about traders, mindset about investing, how to actually go into part-time trading, investing, getting money from different sources, and it's about this thick. So it came out. The first draft came out yesterday, and yeah, probably at the end of the month or July, I'm going to publish. And it's for every trader between the first day and the end of your first year, just full of kind of questions and answers from people that I did interviews with.
Wow.
Interviewed over 45 people, got all their questions, and tried to answer them in a book.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that, and I love just the openness and vulnerability of you sharing those times. Many people online, and this is again one of the reasons why I set up Forex 101, is to demystify the realities of trading. A lot of people online, they post their Lamborghini, they post all the great things that are happening, but you're talking about the fact that actually it doesn't matter who you are always going to face a losing streak by statistics. That's
Yeah.
This is by mathematics, by probability. It will come to a time that actually any trader, no matter how successful they are, they're going to hit that losing streak. But I love the tips that you gave in terms of overcoming that. I love that, like taking a break and then actually coming back and just having one successful trade. I love that because it does kind of change your mind to think, actually, no, I do know what I'm doing. It's not the end of the world. I can carry on. I love that. I'm mindful of your time. I want to go to some of the questions from online. So I have a question here that's asking, how can you identify which statistic is which in regards to past, present, and future? I think this is in relation to what you said about the indicators.
Indicators, yeah. So basically, if an indicator, you kind of need to know a little bit more about the indicator, of course. But if you look to RSI, does RSI give you a feeling what is going to happen or what has happened? And RSI is an example of a leading indicator, because if it's oversold, you want to go and sell it because you say it's going to go down. That's what RSI tries to tell me. So that's a leading indicator. Now, something like Bollinger Bands is only looking in the past. It doesn't project anything into the future, and it's looking into averages. So it's looking everything like moving averages, different, like there's 7 different moving averages, which not everybody might know about. So you can look into that. And there's different forms of other indicators that look to the back. And then you have volume indicators like CCI, commodity index. You have the Ichimoku cloud, which is doing 2 things. It's showing you the volume, but it's also projecting it into the future. So you need to kind of know if an indicator is leading, lagging, or volume. And by Googling an indicator, you mostly get into pages like Investopedia that have a whole page about the indicator. Well, you maybe even understand only half of it, but it will tell you more how the indicator is made, what kind of function it has, and if it will predict something or will just give you some sort of feeling what has happened in the past. And then a volume indicator as the third one. So you need to make that combination.
Fantastic. I love that. I'm rushing through here because we've got a couple of questions. I think this next one is in relation to what you said when you were sharing about your about that losing streak that people go through. The question is that the same as the so-called circle of doom? And what's your view on that? And they've also followed up and said, in regards to the above, they've heard about that on the internet. So have you heard of the circle of doom first?
I haven't heard of the particular term actually, but basically I think it's just a mindset thing or a moment in the markets. The points, it can happen from all kinds of moments. It can happen from you having personal difficulties, and therefore you're just not yourself. On the other side, it can be Corona comes out. When that came out in Asia, we had very, very easy trading because Asia is going down. The rest of the world had no issues. So we made a crazy amount of money for 2 weeks. But after that, it was 2 to 4 weeks really, really difficult to find trends because everybody got problems. So it can be the market that makes your strategy lose a few trades and then you start doubting. It can be yourself doubting in the first place or just not feeling well. Or it can be whatever your strategy might just not have perfect market conditions. Let's say you have a trending strategy and it's completely flat market in August, or you have a strategy based on pullbacks, but they started trending super strongly. So whatever the reason really is, you just have a bad time sometimes. Even the best traders have bad times. That's actually the real message. And the only thing what you can do is keep going, and because this is your profession now.
Fantastic, Bas. Thank you so much. I know that you have another item on your agenda for this afternoon, but I really, really appreciate you spending your time with us today and sharing your knowledge. I would love to have you back if you're happy to do that in the future.
Definitely, yeah. I definitely have room in my schedule to do this kind of things because what I really love is to do Q&As as people are able to ask those questions that might not be able to be answered during the go live session. So I think it's great. Also, the questions mostly go a little bit further away from trading, go into mindset, go into other points. And kind of the only way of getting it out of me is by asking the questions. That's why I started writing a book and I went to 2 or 3 pages and I was just stuck. I was like, what am I going to write about? So I asked the community, just ask me anything. And I got an insane amount of questions that formed the inspiration of, at the end, writing the answers of those questions of the people that are actually trading, which hopefully makes this a book that you actually want to read because it's useful questions answered. So credits go as much to the people that helped me write the book as me writing the answers down, right?
That's brilliant. I'm really looking forward to that book coming out. Please, what's the title of the book?
So the title is not disclosed yet.
Okay, that's fine.
It's about
keep me posted. When it's ready to come out, I'm going to blow it up on this platform. I'm going to tell everybody about it. I'm going to get a copy myself because I'm excited about that because I think not only do you have the knowledge, there's 2 types of people. There's advisors, then there's mentors, right? I would consider you a mentor because the reality is advisors only talk about things that they've heard about, whereas you've lived what you're talking about, and that's what makes you a mentor. You're actually telling people, okay, this is what I've done, this is how it works, and this is what you should do. So thank you, sir, so much for your time. We've got so many thank you notes coming in from online, from Facebook, from YouTube as well. So again, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you coming on and look forward to having you again.
Thank you so much, and we definitely stay in touch for version 2.
Definitely. Thank you so much. All right, then. Take care. Oh my goodness me. How did you guys find that Q&A session with Bas? Wasn't it amazing? I think there was so much value that was given. I do understand. I know that some people are watching this for the very, very first time and you are absolute beginners. It is basic information that you need. I know that you mentioned certain things that may have been a bit too much. So do you want me to do sessions on some of those indicators? I could do a basic session on RSI. It was referred to as RSI. It's called the Relative Strength Index. Would you like me to do that? Also, he talked about moving averages. There's the exponential moving average, the weighted moving average, lots of different ones. Do you want me to do sessions on those? If you do, let me know and I will do a session for you so that you can understand some of those things at a very basic level. Okay, so my goodness me, I feel like I could just soak in what was just shared there. It was kind of like, it was like that, wasn't it? It was like, do you know what I mean?
You win. Perfect.
Amazing. But yeah, guys, I'm going to get into my teaching session now. Oh goodness, yeah, I love it. I'm definitely going to get Bas back on in the future. If you want that to happen, type yes, I want that to happen in the comment section. And yeah, I'm going to make it happen. Absolutely amazing. So we've got comments online. It was a cut above the rest. Brilliant. So much value. Looking forward to the book. I am looking forward to the book too. Yes, you do want me to. I think that's in relation to the indicators. I know there's a slight delay. Yes, you do want Bas back on. Fantastic. Most definitely. Yes. Okay. So he's coming back. He's coming back. Okay. Thank you all so much for your comments. My goodness me. Wow. Okay. So shall I get into sharing my session today? Oh, goodness me. This feels like. Anyway, I'm not going to put myself down. I'll always do my best to bring you the basic information and help you understand what trading is all about. So, yes, that was great. And we got another one that's saying, yes, please. My goodness. Okay, so we're going to have more of this. Guys, every single week, 3 p.m. here in the Honing Block, Forex 101. Tell your friends, get people on these sessions. We want to demystify what it means to be a trader and give you the realities of what it means to trade in the Forex markets from people who are actually doing it. Bas is one of the people in the academy that I'm tied to. I learn from Bas. I watch his sessions. You can do that too. But anyway, let's carry on because the time is short. So recap, last week we looked at the trends. We know that going up is a bullish buy or an uptrend. Sideways is consolidation. We know that going down is a sell, bearish, or a downtrend. And we went to my website and we did some marking up of the charts on the chart that I have embedded in the website. So we're going to go there in a moment to have a look at what we're looking at today, which is the types of analysis. A few weeks ago, I think it was in session 6, I mentioned, or it might have been session 5, I mentioned the 3 different types of analysis. We have technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and we have sentiment analysis. And today I'm going to talk to you about fundamental analysis in a little bit more detail. So, can you tell me what your understanding of fundamental analysis is in the chat box as I talk and go through this section? Because we know that when it comes to trading, especially if you're a beginner, you can enter the charts, you can enter the trade, and you can expect that just because the pattern is formed in a certain way, that the price is going to continue to move in that direction. And then all of a sudden, it goes in the opposite direction and people lose money and they wonder why they're not being successful in the trade. Well, these things happen because actually there's more that's involved in trading than just looking at what is on the charts. There are things happening outside. There is economic news and there is also how people feel about the markets. And those two things are referred to as both fundamental and sentiment analysis. Excuse me. So, what is fundamental analysis? Let's have a look. So, types of fundamental analysis. We have volatility indicators. So when it comes to fundamental analysis, wherever it is that you're getting your information, they tend to have these 3 indicators to show how volatile the news is that is attached to your currency. So red usually equals high. Orange will equal medium, and then yellow equals low. And that is in relation to the volatility. So what does that mean when I say the volatility? So if a news announcement is made in relation to a country's economy, that news announcement will either have a low, medium, or high effect on what is happening in the market. So that means that people who are placing trades, that the announcement will either have little to no effect, it'll be yellow, or it could have some kind of effect, and that would be indicated by being orange, or it will have a high effect on the charts. And it's very important that we know and identify the difference. So, do you need to focus on the economics? No, you do not need to focus on the economics. So are you somebody who is not really into economic news, or if you haven't studied economics, can you still use this strategy? Yes, you can. You do not have to know all of the intricate details of everything that is going on. You kind of just need to know what country is involved, or the countries that could be affected by that news, and also focus on the type of change that could happen. So yes, something is announced. Does it mean that the price is going to go up more, or does it mean that price is going to go down more? That is the main focus that a trader would have when it comes to fundamental analysis. Then you would take a position. Once you've taken a position, you have said to yourself, yes, this news that has come out has given me confidence that price is going to move in said direction, whether that be in an upward trend or in a downward trend, and you will take your position accordingly, or you will wait for sentiment analysis. And what do I mean by that? That means actually, yes, the announcement has been made, but you're not quite sure how people are going to react to that news. Some news is clearer than others. If there is high unemployment, it tends to mean that it would have a negative effect on that country's economy. If there is, and other news can be like that, but there are some announcements that are made that don't necessarily mean that it will definitely go in one way or the other. So you might want to wait and see how people feel about that announcement as to the positions that they take in the market. And that, of course, we know is the sentiment analysis. So, non-farm payroll is one announcement that I want you all to be very familiar with as beginners. This is one that does catch people out if they are not aware, first of all, that it exists. What is it? Well, it's an economic announcement. The non-farm payroll is announced every first Friday of the month at 1:30 p.m. British Standard Time. And what is it? Well, the monthly non-farm payroll statistic is a measure of the new payrolls added by private and government entities in the United States. Do you really need to know the ins and outs of what the non-farm payroll announcement is? Yes or no? No, because I've said this before, the economics isn't the main focus here. Knowing that the announcement is happening is important. Knowing when the announcement is happening is also important. Knowing how this announcement might affect the market is also important. So let's have a look at the website here. And what I've done for you is on my site, edgewareedu.com/trading, you'll be able to have a look at not just the charts, but you'll be able to have a look and see all the previous sessions. By the way, you've got the charts, and we used that last week. But also I have here fundamental announcements. So we have different announcements here relation to the country's economies. Now, on this indicator here, on this chart, this is just the news announcements. Is what you can see here. This is set to British Standard Time if you're looking at it from another country, just so that you know that the time is automatically set to British Standard Time. So that's something to be aware of. The ones that are grayed out are announcements that have already happened. So what do we need to know here? Well, first of all, we need to know that the next announcement is announced according to the time. And like I said, this will be according to British Standard Time. So 11 o'clock, 11:30 tonight, there is an announcement. Now, this is the only thing that you kind of need to know if you're looking at this particular market watch indicator, and that is the flag. Do you know what country that is? Because if you don't know your flags, you won't know that this, is it New Zealand or is it Australia? Which one is it? Well, I'll tell you, and I'll tell you because I actually had to look it up. The flags are so similar, but the difference being one of the flags has a red stars and the other has white stars, and there is a different number of stars. I think the New Zealand flag has, 4 or 5. I'm sorry. I love you people from New Zealand. Kia ora. Hey, kia ora. But yes, that is the Australian flag. So that's the only thing that this particular indicator won't tell you, but it will give you the flag Look it up. It's good to know the flags. It's good to know the countries of the world. So you have the time, you have the country that's affected, then you have that indicator. Now this one is yellow. So what is yellow? Remember, yellow means it is low volatility news. So, and when we have the when we're looking at this, we need to know that actually, first of all, the time that the announcement is made, the country that is affected, because that will tell us which currency pairs are affected. So if we're trading anything to do with the Australian dollar or the New Zealand dollar, then we need to have a look at this news because it may affect your currency. Then we need to actually check to see whether it's going to be low, medium, or high volatility. This one is low volatility. And then what we have is the actual economic information that is released. Do we need to know exactly what this is? No, not really. So the next thing is the last three sections here. And what they are is we have the actual forecast and the prior. So the last one is telling you the previous data that was released in relation to this economic news. The forecast is what is predicted, and now we have a dash for that because there is no forecast for this particular announcement. And then when the announcement is made at 11:30, there will be an actual set of data that is released and that will fill in that column. Now, it's the difference between the forecast, well, the previous and the actual that will have or potentially make an effect on the currency pair that you are trading. Naturally, because this is low volatility, it's not really a point of interest for us. Now, they are the announcements for today. All of the major announcements have happened. There are some that have gone on right now, even not too long ago, in relation to, what flag is that? That's right, it's the US flag. And they happened at 1:30 and 3:30. These ones are happening now. And they are in relation to gas. So what you can see here in relation to what I mentioned before was we had the previous announcement, and we have the current announcement. Now we can see by looking at the numbers, this is lower than that number there, and that would have an effect. And we can see that was an orange dot, so that would have a medium effect on anything that is paired with the US dollar. Now, back to what I mentioned before about in relation to the non-farm payroll announcement. Now, if we have a look at tomorrow, we can see that there are, and why am I looking at tomorrow, by the way? That is because I said that the non-farm payroll announcement is made on the first Friday of every month. Tomorrow is Friday, so let's have a look at that time. So we can see that the announcement, we know that I've told you that the announcement happens at 1:30. So we have some announcements here in relation to Great British Pound. That's a medium a medium effect. This is not just a red dot. This is actually Japan. So there's a Japanese flag. So we have all of these flags here. That's in relation to Japanese news. Then we have German news, and on it goes. And then we come to the morning, the UK news. These are medium effect. And then when it comes to 1:30, here is where we see different announcements being made. So now we have a red one there, the unemployment rate for Canada. And then we have the non-farm payroll announcement, and that is at 1:30, as I said before. So this, again, is something that you need to be aware of because it has high volatility and will have an effect on the markets for your currencies that are paired with the US dollar. So it's important for you to know that the non-farm payroll as well as the unemployment rate announcement that both happen at 1:30 will have a high volatility impact on the currencies that you are trading. Now, I hope that does make sense for you. The other thing that I would say is, yes, this indicator is good and it's there on the website. And if you were using the chart here and you were looking at the pound dollar, just know that if you're taking a trade tomorrow at 1:30, because it's the first Friday of the month, just know that that announcement will have an effect on the market. And we can see here just as a point of interest that price was moving down, And because this is an hour chart, this is the hour candle, there was an announcement made today at 3:30, and we can see already that it's having an impact on the charts there. So that is how fundamental analysis works. Another website I'd like to show you, as I said before, is FOREX Factory, because that has fundamental news as well. Let me just enlarge the screen so you can see it more clearly. Let's move myself out of the way. Okay, so on this website, there are a couple of things that you need to know if you are navigating this website. On FOREX Factory, it's so important that you change the time to your local time. I think by default it's set to the US time, so when you click here, you are able to change it. And I've got mine set to Greenwich Mean Time, which is the same as British Standard Time. And also I would like to put on daylight saving time. So if it's not on, make sure that is on, and then you can save your settings. And then once you've saved your settings, you can go back to the home icon here, which is hidden. Once you click that, it is set to the correct time, and it will have the charts, have all of the news announcements set according to your time. Okay, so again, it's exactly the same as what I showed you before. You have the date, you have the time. This time you don't have the flag, so you don't have to guess, you just have to know the abbreviation of that country. So this is obviously New Zealand dollar announcement. Low impact is yellow, and that is the economic news that is related to. And if you wanted the detail, you could open that up, and it actually tells you. If you wanted to know a bit more about what the economics are behind the announcement, it's telling you here it's a change in the global price of exported commodities. Actual is greater than forecast, is good for that currency. So it actually tells you a bit more so that you have more of an indication of what the effect could be of that announcement. And again, this is a low impact news announcement. So FOREX Factory will give you that. And again, it's got those same things. It's got actual, it's got forecast, and it has previous. Okay, so you would look out for orange folders, yellow folders, and red folders when you're about to enter a trade. So if you were a technical trader and you didn't really focus too much on the fundamental analysis side of it, if that wasn't your trading style, you may be interested to just come and check to see the time that you're about to place a trade, and just check that there are no red folders in relation to the trade that you are about to take. Because again, this is sometimes a mistake people make. They say, yes, I'm a technical trader and I'm not really bothered about the news side of it. However, once you get into your trade, something happens that you're unaware of, but it may be in relation to fundamental analysis. So it's good to come to a website like FOREX Factory, or you can go to my website. Somebody's asking for the name of the first website. The first website is edgewayedu.com. edgewayedu.com, and what I will do is I'm going to put up my banner which has my website in it there, so you can see it scrolling at the bottom. That's for the YouTube user who missed the name of the first website. I hope that answers your question. There is edgewayedu.com. Go there and you will see both the charts, and you can mark up the charts, and you can also see the news. So last week we looked at drawing trend lines, and we can do all of that straight from the website, as well as look at the news as I showed you earlier. But this other one is FOREX Factory, and you're able to look at the news in exactly the same way. So again, if we click more at the bottom here, we go to tomorrow's news, and again you can see there 1:30 p.m. Canada, US, and all of these are in relation to the non-farm payroll announcement, as well as the unemployment rate and employment change, etc. They all are announced at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow, and they will have a high impact on the market. Okay, so let me remove this from the stream. Guys, that was the session for today. I hope you have found this session useful. I have been blown away by the Q&A section with Bas Kooijman. I'm just blown away. The information that he gave is so valuable. It's one of the reasons why I watch his sessions, one of the reasons why I got him on. And yes, he is definitely going to come back. I hope that you have found the session, the part that I've shared on fundamental analysis valuable as well. Please let me know in the comments. I aim to please, and I'm here to serve. And what I want is for people who are interested in trading to have somewhere to go to find real information, practical information, not hyped up, not get rich quick, but here is what trading is all about. Here's what it means to become a trader. And this is information that will be vital for you to understand as a beginner before you get involved. Guys, I need to know. I need to know, is this something that is useful for you? It helps me to continue. Oh, thank you so much. I'm having replies now from online saying, excellent, thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for thanking me. And again, it just helps me to know the types of things that are helpful and useful for you. But guys, can I just share this and say to you, I want to say this to you. If you are somebody who wants to get involved in trading, if you like to start learning trading via Trading Academy, via the Trading Academy that I am part of, I would like you to, first of all, get in contact with the person that may have invited you to watch this session. They are probably tied into the Trading Academy and they can help you get started as well. If not, then you can also visit www.edgewayedu.com/trading and click the Start Now button if you would like to start trading. That is what the button looks like on my website. If you need more information, you can sign up to my mailing list at edgewayedu.com to receive more basic tips and watch all the previous sessions on the Edgeway Education website and the Honing Block Facebook group, as well as the YouTube channel. Oh, wow, it's pouring in now. So people are saying very useful. I appreciate that. Jasmine Ross is saying definitely really break things down. Well, thank you so much. I hope it's not too fast and I want it to be useful. Thank you very much. So guys, have yourselves a great week. I am loving the Street Fighter music. I do feel like this is kind of just where I'm at this week. Guys, please, if you want to get involved in trading, follow these steps here on the slides and have yourselves a great week. I am going to have a great rest of the day. I hope you do too. I know it's been raining a little bit lately, but just enjoy yourself, relax. It's lockdown. It's lockdown for most people. I know some people have gone back to work, but yeah, enjoy yourselves, guys. And I will see you next week here in the Honing Block. We've got an interview on Tuesday Night Live with one of the founding directors of Afrocentrics. If you are somebody who is an entrepreneur and you have a product and you want to sell it, please join us for that session, because sometimes we're just far too shy when it comes to selling our products online. And also, same time, same place next week for Forex 101. We're going to have another guest educator coming to share their wisdom and share their knowledge. And I want to help you guys understand what it means to become a successful Forex trader. So guys, God bless you all. Take care. And I will see you next week here in the Honing Block for Forex 101 and for Tuesday Night Live. Take care, and I'll see you next time.